Welcome back, you guys, to my channel. Finally making the video for 2024, and it's a video that I've basically been working on for like a year because of procrastination. It's gonna be redoing my entire garage, from the lights to the floor to my toolbox there. So stay tuned and tell me what you guys think. Like and comment. So these were the only two pictures I had of the garage before. It was normal white walls, white ceiling, and then the floor was just normal gray paint. So I had my cousin help me out. We started with painting the ceiling and the door all black. I was spraying the paint and then he was back rolling it to make sure that it was nice and even. So shout out to Brian for that. And then I moved on to painting the walls. It was like the contractor normal paint before, like yellowish, and it scuffed really easy. So I painted it nice gray with good quality paint. So the only thing I didn't record of assembling and mounting was the storage cabinet, with their floating mounted onto the wall with those brackets. But it's just basic storage. It's a whole hot mess. Electrical stuff, wiring, and then all the main stuff, car wash stuff, all the power tools. But this was pretty simple, so I didn't see a need to record it anyway. Just assembling all the cabinets and then mounting them. Each of them have their own bracket that you mount it to, and then I did screw them together like normal cabinets so that it was nice and tight. But yeah, I thought this looked a lot better than like a metal cabinet, because a metal cabinet obviously is more like mechanic style, which they also look cool, but I liked how this looked better, so that's why I went with this for the wall. So I have the hexes built out. I'm gonna start from this side because that's where I'm gonna put the power wire, and then hopefully put one side and then the center bars and then the other side. That's the plan at least. So let's see how that goes. I have them in order, so I know I have to go from top to bottom there. And those are that side hex, same thing there, and those are those side hexes. So I took this light off. It was the same one as that one, and I used like a black cover plate. So got rid of that light. So I'm gonna probably wire these, the whole thing to the switch, so that I can just turn it on here instead of like to a smart switch or whatever. So I got it as good as I'm gonna get it. It's a little bit crooked in the center there, but as good as I'm gonna get it. But damn, this thing is so bright. It looks so good. And the other one obviously is gonna go here. I like it. And it's super bright. The light is super even. There's no more like dark spots. It literally reaches everywhere. So far on this one, we approached it a little bit different. We just did the upper and then the side, and then we're doing the hexes this way. And then I'm probably gonna do the other hexes that go on top, make sure that's straight, and then go down, and then finish the rest of the border. Because on this one, you could tell when I did this one, it's a little bit crooked, and that's because I assembled it as it was going. So I'm gonna try to approach this one a little bit different so that it's completely straight. It's looking good so far. It does take a while. We've been doing this probably for like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, I don't know. So we got that side all installed, so I just gotta go hardwire it so that I can use this switch here, because I eliminated both of the lights. I put cover plates over them, and the other one is right there. So those are not existent anymore. So I gotta finagle my way up through that little hole of an attic now. But it looks so good. Floor is next. So I got those wired to the switch. So I'm gonna close the garage real quick, so you can see how they look when they're powered on. So that's off, obviously. These things are bright. It's literally like daylight in here. I love the reflection off the car. So wiring wise, I just did the wires there, and then there, and then those two, those went up to the attic, and that's when I wired it to the switch here, which is from those old lights that were there. But wow, love how that looks. This is dope. The brightness is where it's at. Like, this is
lighting, I could do any video any time of day. I'm loving this. Definitely recommend getting these. So like I said, next is the floor. And once the floor is done, at least the hardest work is gonna be done. Pressure washer is what I'm thinking of, that I can wall mount, vacuum that I can wall mount. I already got this stuff for tools and etc. Looks nice. Doesn't look like a normal toolbox. And I got the fans up there. Tell me what you guys think.
One eternity later.
All right, so this is gonna be the part where we have to take care of the floor. So as you guys saw, we painted the ceiling, and of course, I didn't think of it. I covered part of the walls, but I didn't cover the floor. So there's been overspray all over this floor since, and it looks disgusting. And obviously, before we lay any epoxy, anything on the floor, I'm gonna have to clean that out as best as I can before we lay that down. First thing first, gotta clear out the whole mess that's been accumulating in the garage. Normally, this is supposed to be all clear, none of this is here, but you know, just stuff has been piling on. This is all the epoxy stuff, and then hex lights, you know, if you need any, hit me up. And then just random stuff. So gonna clean that out before we start pressure washing the floor to get rid of all or most of the overspray. Whatever stays should be good to lay over epoxy. I'm hoping anyways that all of it gets clear because it just looks cleaner, like a better mentally starting point. But let's get to that. So I got the garage completely cleared out. Only that toolbox. I'm gonna leave that for last because I have wood under that too, like holding that toolbox. It's not necessary, but it's just like an extra, you know, like an extra precaution for my mental stability. So everything else is cleared out. Just gotta broom a little bit here and then get the pressure washer started and seeing how much of this overspray can come off. All right, so I've been through 2 tanks of gas on the pressure washer. So I'm gonna let it cool down and then continue. And it doesn't look like much, but this is what I've gotten done so far. So on those borders, when they built the house, they just used like normal wall paint. So that stripped off on everything. Just got this little piece left. And then, like I said, whatever the pressure washer lifts, it's gonna lift, and whatever stays should be good to paint over. All that is just stained dirt, but we should be good. There's progress. There used to be a whole bunch of black paint. So I got it all pressure washed. You can see mainly half front here. Most of the black overspray is gone. And then all the paint that lifted was basically where there's cracks. So everything else should be good. So let this dry. It sucks that it's not hot, it's cold, so it's gonna take longer to dry. If it was normally like normal temperature hot, Florida hot, then it would dry and be good tomorrow. So hopefully tomorrow this is good. I pushed out as much water as I could. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow, touch up the cracks, and I'm gonna fill in this line, the whatever they call those, the stress cracks that they make so that the concrete doesn't crack as easy. So I'm gonna fill everything so that it looks like one solid floor when I paint it. All right, so day 2 of the garage rebuild. So today I'm gonna be working on the cracks and the control joints on the floor. So I'm gonna be using this product for the control joints mainly. Well, I'm gonna use it for everything, but mainly the reason of this product is because you can the concrete still has space to flex, to expand and contract with temperature, because that's why they put those in, because the slabs do move a little bit with temperature. So this still has enough flexibility so that that doesn't affect that, and it's gonna look good with the epoxy. And then also all these cracks gonna be filling in, stuff like that, all that stuff. So hopefully that product works good. Obviously I've never used it. I've never done epoxy floor at all. I did a good amount of research and I think that should work really good. So let's get to filling that. So then once that's dry, we can sand it down smooth and then get to primer. Damn, you guys. I bought the freaking wrong size dispensing gun thingy. So it looks like I gotta go do a Home Depot run real quick. So I got the right dispensing gun now. So I filled this crack first, enough to go just slightly over the concrete. So it should settle a little bit once it dries, and I might have to do one more layer on it. If not, then I could just sand it and make it even. So I'm gonna do that to all of them now, including those cracks. Hopefully I have enough, because that took a good amount, and I only have 2 tubes of this thing. This thing is expensive. I ran out of that joint filler, and I didn't want to wait for Amazon, so I got some at Home Depot that was this. Hopefully it's good. It's rubberized, so it still flexes, so it shouldn't crack. So putting this in where it was left, gonna let that settle and then refill, you know, as needed, because it does sink down since that is a crack. So level it up as it dries, and hopefully this works out good so I can sand it down today and continue on with the next step. So as you guys can see, I believe I have all the cracks filled now. So the big ones were like this one and that long one. So like I said, I'm putting the sealant down, letting it fill in, to then once that dries, put another layer, because at that point it'll be sealed and it will hold it up. So this one's a lot harder to apply than the other one. Not harder, it's thicker. So I'm using a spatula to kind of like guide it, because the other one is more liquidy. So it kind of just poured in wherever there was a crack. This one, you put it and it kind of stays on top a little bit. So a little bit messier, but it should be good. It's a lot cheaper, but hopefully it's just as good as the other one. All right, so day 3, I believe. So today, all this stuff dried already overnight. So I did a little test patch. I'm gonna be sanding it down with like the diamond cutter thingamajig to make it even and flush all throughout. See how there's some parts that are a little bit raised. So I'm gonna be sanding that down even. The epoxy I got is self-leveling, so if it's a little bit off, it should be okay. So I'm gonna try to do my best, since this is handheld. It's not like the big machine that you push, that's easy. So let's get to it, because there's a lot of sanding to do here. So I'm getting most of it flat. It looks worse than what it is. It's pretty smooth. Obviously, I would have loved for it to come out better, like you see professionals do it, but I'm not a professional. But you can see I got this flat. That was a little crack that was there, that's filled in. So I did already these 2 back here, and then the middle joint, and then this joint. So all I'm missing is this one, and then that middle joint. Then I gotta clean it out once more, and then get ready for the primer. That's gonna be the fun part. I'm really wondering how many defects are gonna show. But you know, like I said, I'm not a professional. It's my first time doing it. So let's keep going, sanding on. So I got all the floor sanded down, and I just rinsed it out. So I was planning on painting today, but since there's some parts that are still bare cement, I don't know if it's gonna dry in time. So I think I'll start painting tomorrow. Everything's all prepped, so I'll just get the final supplies that I need from Home Depot today, like tape, some rollers, and I think that's the only thing. Oh, and some measuring buckets. But for the most part, everything looks good. There's some imperfections, but I think it'll be fine. So I'm gonna turn on the 2 fans, get that running. Today is finally a little bit warm, so it should help with drying this. And then tomorrow, bright and early, I'll get this started and throw some primer on it and see how far we can get. So I decided that I'm just gonna paint today. So I'm gonna do the primer today. I got my ghetto spike shoes that I got from eBay that I just had to zip tie, not zip tie, use the strap for a slide because wouldn't fit around the shoe. I taped up wherever I had to that little edge. I was gonna do the borders, but I'm gonna caulk and paint them after, so it's pointless. Then I did the bottom of the water heater and I took the toolbox out of there. Just gotta blow it out one more time. I already washed it, blow it out one more time, and get to mixing the primer. I'm actually really nervous because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't know how this is gonna come out.
I'm gonna start mixing. This is 2-to-1 ratio. So this is the hardener, and this is the main part of the primer. Then we'll also mix the pigment into this. Have black and silver. Silver one, that's the black one. I think I'm gonna do a silver base, so it goes on the base coat and then on the primer as well, and then black accents is what I'm planning to do. So you use about 4 ounces per gallon. I'm gonna have about in total 2 gallons of primer. So we're just gonna go to the 1 gallon line and then to 1.5 gallons. So 6 quarts. So we're gonna do 1 gallon and then half a gallon of hardener. So we'll put this in first. We'll start with 1 gallon and go from there. I have a scale to measure this, but the battery's dead, so I'm just gonna eyeball it, which sucks. I found a scale. Well, I found the battery. So we'll do is 4 ounces per gallon. So I'll do 6 ounces to start with 1.5 gallons. So 4 ounces seems like a lot. So that's about 4. I think it's going everywhere. So we're gonna do 1 gallon of this and then half a gallon of the hardener. I'm gonna pour this in first and mix this before I put hardener. So you want to mix this so it basically looks all even and it doesn't have none of those streaks. Or maybe since this one's metallic, it's gonna have the streaks because the bottom of it looks good. So the top might be throwing me off. The nervous part here. So I got one of those squeegees that are like ribbed. That's what they recommended online, so that's what I'm going for. I bought a paintbrush for like these areas that are hard, like behind the heater, water heater, but I can't find it. So, a little roller, I guess. Start with that. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm gonna push this back here. Should work, right?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if this is even going to be enough epoxy. Because technically this is half. I'm gonna try the roller. See if I can get better coverage. I don't know, you guys. I don't know if I have enough epoxy. Shit.
All right, so we're day 1 million. Nah, legitimately, I think it's day 4. As you guys saw, the primer was barely enough to cover the whole floor. So today, I have the same amount of base coat because, like I said, I thought I had ordered more than enough. So today, I'm gonna, first of all, I thought it was a smart idea to turn the fans on, you know, to dry the epoxy. Not a good idea because they caused bubbles right where it was hitting. So I got sandpaper, like super coarse, so I can take out most of the imperfections, and then I have a thinner one to go over it to smooth it out just a tiny bit before I put the base coat. So I'm gonna do that real quick and then clean it up with the mop, just like the dust. Same thing on this side because I had both fans on. So I'm gonna sand that down. The rest of it is not that bad. See over here and like where the fan wasn't hitting, more up there and up there. So I'm gonna sand that down smooth. Gotta go light on the base coat. I'm gonna do the same color. I was thinking about doing black so that it covers more, but then if I do black and I don't get enough coverage, it's gonna be like super uneven. So I'm gonna do the same color and I'm gonna pour here first and then go back towards, because I started over there yesterday, so it has a heavier coat. I don't know, I'm just gonna try to play with it to cover as much of the imperfections as I can. I mean, it's not the best, but it's probably not the worst. So I guess I'll just wait for this to dry. I covered up as much as the imperfections as I could. There's some spots like here that you can see through it a little bit, but overall not bad. I don't know if I swirled this stuff enough. Maybe I didn't. I guess we'll find out once this dries. So I'll see you later tonight. Not turning on the fans this time. Not too bad. It was a little light over here, you can see. But like I said, it's as best as it's gonna get. I don't think I blended enough of the, whatever you wanna call those, like the accents. But some of them look cool. Can't really tell on camera because the hex light's reflecting. Looks better than before regardless, I guess, right? All right, and finally, by no means, like I said before, is it perfect. But I'm gonna do the last layer, which is a clear coat, a protective layer to help with scratches and stuff. So I'm gonna wipe this down. I already did a light sanding on it since it's been like 2 or 3 days because I couldn't work on this on the weekend. So gonna wipe it down with a mop and then dry it and then get to mixing the last final clear coat. This one I'm gonna roll on as opposed to like pour it on and try to push around, since I know that I don't have the ideal amount, like the perfect amount. So I'm gonna just roll it on and fill in wherever I have to fill in the most, and then do a nice even layer across the whole floor. All right, so I got all the clear down as best as I could. As you can see, it might be a little light there, but we'll see once it all evens out. Should take about a day to dry where it's not tacky, and then I'll give it like a week before I put anything in here, cars wise. But yeah, wow, the glossiness looks good. I just hope that these areas merge together. Tell me how I missed the whole spot right here. Damn, how does that happen? Whatever, hopefully it dries okay. I'm just gonna deal. That's crazy, bro. Not looking too bad, except some of that spot over there that I missed. Still wet, obviously, so it's shinier probably than it's gonna be. But overall, I guess it isn't too bad. It's a lot better than before. And this should be a lot easier to maintain cleanliness-wise. I mean, it isn't terrible for my first and only time ever doing this in my life. Looks pretty good. There's some spots like here, see, look, it's like flawless, super smooth, perfect. And there's a little bit of other spots. But overall, I'm happy. It's gonna be easy to clean. It's a lot better than before. It's gonna be hard to stain as long as I maintain it good, wipe up anything that gets on it. So it's a win for me. All I gotta do is paint the borders. I'm gonna do like I said before, the bottom concrete part black, and then the moldings in white as it is now. Just gotta repaint them since they got a little bit messed up when I was pressure washing. But I think it looks good. What do you guys think?